Hi, I'm Mark Littler. I'm an independent antiques consultant and whisky broker, and in this video I'll answer the question whether whisky matures in a cask forever. There's a very simple answer to this question, and it's no, whisky does not mature in a cask forever. There's two reasons for this. The first is the ABV and the second is the flavour. So the most important and the most critical factor is the ABV, or the alcohol by volume. Now this matters because if the cask drops below 40% ABV, then the contents can no longer be sold as whisky. So if you're maturing a cask that was first filled at 63.5% ABV and casks evaporate at an average rate of around 2% a year, you will eventually get down below 40%. Now the reason for this is that as more air gets into the cask, the quicker the evaporation process takes place. So if you've got a cask that has just been filled, there's very little air inside that cask, so the evaporation rate is going to be very slow. It might be 0.05% for the first year, but then it will speed up the more air that gets in the cask. So if you've got a 30-year-old cask of whisky, you might be 60% air and 40% liquid remaining in that cask. So therefore, the evaporation process speeds up exponentially. So theoretically, if you just left a standard cask of whisky in a warehouse, it will not mature forever. The liquid will evaporate away, and once that happens, once the ABV drops below 40%, the contents is no longer able to be called whisky. Now the second factor has to do with flavour, and it's quite a technical process, but broadly speaking, you can over mature a whisky in a cask, and the cask will give off an overly woody influence on the whisky. So left forever, you might not necessarily increase the flavour profile of that whisky. So the short answer is that whisky does not mature in a cask forever, basically because it evaporates away, and once it's evaporated to below 40% ABV, the content is no longer whisky, and if you mature it for too long, it's going to have too much of a woody influence on the whisky and it won't be very palatable at all. We've got more videos at marklittler.com, and if you're looking to buy or sell a cask of whisky, please get in touch and we'll be happy to help.